What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? That was a terrible clap. I'm sorry for that embarrassment. Today, I have a very nice rifle. This is from CMMG. It is the Br47, and it's part of their DISSENT line. And it's kind of like a cool guy ranch rifle, AR-15, AK mag. It's a whole bunch of things mashed up into one. So the DISSENT line is a really big line, and all of the DISSENTs have a bufferless system. So there's no buffer tube and spring and all that good stuff. And I will show you the BCG and how that magic happens here in just a little bit. But the line is huge. So if you want a pistol or a rifle or something more traditional, or all these different calibers you can pick from, it's a huge, huge selection if this isn't your jam. So this particular one is 7.62x39. It does take traditional AK magazines. Mine is a 16-inch. You can also get it in a 14.3 that's pin and welded. And then they do have a non-threaded version as well. So between the non-threaded and the no vertical grip, maybe, hopefully that will help be legal in more states. I don't know. I don't pay attention to what is and isn't legal in other states. All right. Lots of colors is the last thing I wanted to mention about them. If you don't love this burnt bronze-ish color, whatever it's called, you're crazy. But if you don't for some reason, they have a handful, if not maybe 10 different colors you can pick from, different Cerakote colors. All right, starting at the back. This particular series is compatible with Remington 870 stocks. This particular one is from Magpul. It's their SGA stock. It is an extremely nice stock. It's a little big, but extremely nice. So this particular one has a very good cheek weld. You see a couple spacers here in the back. You can pop a few screws and add or take away those spacers if you want a shorter or longer length of pull. Very, very generous pad in the back. You have some loops here on the side to run a sling through if you want to. And again, there's no vertical grip. It's more of a shotgun style grip, if that helps you out in the state you live in. The safety is not a standard AR type safety. Like most of the DISSENT line will use a traditional AR safety. This is going to be a cross bolt safety, pretty straightforward. You slide it over to the left and red is dead. Very tactile, ridiculously audible. Like, I don't know if my mic picks that up, but it's very, very audible. And the cool thing about it is reversible. So you backwards lefty people can reverse it the other way, and it's okay that God made you backwards. The trigger is very good, and it depends. I hesitate because I'm like, hey, if you compare this to an AK trigger, because this rifle is part AK, it's way nicer than any AK trigger I've ever seen. If you compare it to an AR, it is a very, very good, one of the better AR triggers out there as well. It is CMMG's branded trigger. They call all of their accessories their Zero line. So the muzzle brake, the trigger, all that stuff is called the Zero line. And it's a very, very good single stage trigger. So we are going to take a break and get up close and personal with the trigger in a second. But what I want to do is, there is single stage. There's no take up. The brake is pretty much instantly. And then the reset is very, very short, very respectable, very tactile. Good audible. The trigger's great. I don't think anyone's going to get this gun and be like, yeah, I don't like the trigger. It is fantastic. Before we do that break to get up close and personal with the trigger, though, I want to thank Natchez. Natchez is the biggest supporter of the Tiberious channel. They have hunting, fishing, camping, pew-pews, optics, reloading, any of that stuff that you need for your blaster, they have you covered. So thank you to them. If you need any of that stuff, start with Natchez. Like I said, that trigger is solid. Better than any AK trigger I've seen and I felt, and one of the better AR triggers out there as well. Anyway, magazine release. It's an AK style paddle magazine release. It's not as big as some of the others. They made this smaller, especially if it's going to be like a work type rifle. Smaller magazine release probably makes a lot more sense. This particular one takes standard AK magazines. It either comes with a 5 or a 10 round magazine depending on the state you live in. I tried several different types of AK magazines, you know, Magpul brand. I have some Bakelite, I have some Palmetto State Armory ones. All the different ones I tried worked no problem. Now this gun does not have a last round hold open like most AKs, if not, well, all, whatever. The last round, you have to replace the magazine and then run the charging handle. However, it does have an AR-15 style bolt catch, bolt release. So if I pull back on the charging handle and down on the bolt catch, bolt stop, whatever you want to call it. It will lock the bolt to the rear, and then it has a very large textured paddle. You press that, that will send the bolt forward, just like an AR. And that, again, that bolt lock, bolt release is textured nice, good size, works pretty much the same as an AR-15. Another thing I want to talk about is going to be the size of the receiver on this gun. And I think this is significant that not a lot of people talk about. It's a mid-sized receiver, so it's bigger than an AR-15, but smaller than an AR-10. The big thing it does, it allows you to have a much bigger, beefier bolt than an AR-15. The companies who have an AR-15 bolt and cut it away to accommodate for the 7.62x39 size typically will have more problems than somebody who uses a bigger, beefier bolt. But now, if you use an AR-10 bolt, the gun itself gets bigger and heavier. So this receiver is a mid-sized receiver, so it's in between, and that helps the weight without sacrificing durability. So that's kind of cool. The upper, the lower, handguard is all 7075 T6 aluminum, and again, it has that Cerakote finish. You choose the color you want. The rail on the top goes all the way across the upper and on the handguard. It's a pick rail all the way across. I put this Brownells 1-8 on here in a Reptilla mount. I wanted to put a red dot on here, but I think a low power variable optic makes more sense on this type of gun. So I gave in to peer pressure and I put a 1-8 Brownells optic, which I've had for years and has been fantastic. You also see a Sentry strap on here. This strap is from Neomag and will keep your sling, even though I don't have one on here right now, but it'll keep your sling stage up against the rifle out of the way. If you're gonna have a sling on your rifle, which you should, that's like a mandatory thing. All right, the charging handle on here is not a reciprocating charging handle, which is great. It does not move when you shoot because that would ruin this gun if it did. It is reversible as well, which I think is dope. Not only is that dope because for lefties and righties, I guess somewhat we should care about those backwards people, but if you want to do the cool guy AK reloads when you put the magazine in and you reach under or over the gun, however you want to do it, it just adds a little coolness to it, that's all. And it's very, very easy to swap it from one side to the other. You don't need any tools. You just pop the pin in the rear, the charging handle comes right out, and you can swap it back and forth within like 5 seconds. The handguard on this particular one is a 15-inch handguard, and I think with the 15-inch handguard and the 16-inch barrel, it just looks fantastic. It has M-LOK on 3, 6, and 9 o'clock if you want to add any accessories. Like I added this Hollison Raid that I've been testing, and that light has been fantastic so far. It's been on this gun for all 400 rounds that I've shot. Great beam, great controls. I'll be doing a review on that here very shortly as well. The lockup on the CMMG rifles are good. There's 2 screws on the bottom here, another screw here up here in the middle near the charging handle, and it gives you a pretty good lockup. The gas block on this is an adjustable gas block, which is great. It's a standard 750 size. You can just put a long, like Allen wrench or whatever, down the handguard, and that will allow you to adjust the adjustable gas block. So if you want to run it suppressed, or if you're shooting different types of ammo and you want to customize it, you can easily do so, and this would make a great suppressor host. The barrel that you see is a standard 1-in-10 twist, which is very common with 7.62x39. It's a medium contour, so it's not too thin where it's going to lose accuracy when it heats up, but it's not too fat and big, adding weight. Medium right in the middle is pretty good. The material is 4140, and then the finish on it is a nitride finish. So what that means is 4140 and a nitride finish is both affordable but very durable. So a gun like this where you're not shooting it out thousands of yards, you don't need a stainless barrel. Oh, look at the lines coming through on the sun on my head here. You don't need a stainless steel. Stainless steel is great, but it's a lot more expensive. So for this gun, 4140 with a nitride finish, I think is absolutely perfect. And then the gas tube on here is a mid-length gas tube. So in the unlikely event you blow out a gas tube, it's mid-length. It'll be very, very easy to replace that tube. Muzzle device on this bad boy is one of the CMMG branded muzzle device. Again, they call their accessories the Zeroed line, and it does a good job taming some of that felt recoil without being obnoxiously loud, like some muzzle brakes out there. The thread pitch is 5/8 by 24, so very standard if you want to change the muzzle device out or put a can on it or an adapter or whatever. That shouldn't be a problem. And once again, this would be a really, really great muzzle suppressor host if you want to go down that road. All right, taking this bad boy apart for basic maintenance and cleaning is going to be just like an AR-15 for the most part. You pop at least the rear pin, if not both of the pins, give a little tug on the charging handle, and when you do that, the bolt and the bolt carrier and everything comes right out. They call it the Power Bolt technology, or Power Ranger technology, whatever they call it. The first thing you're going to notice is the carrier is much shorter than a traditional AR-10 or AR-15 bolt. It's much shorter. You still have a firing pin, a Carter pin, you still have the bolt, all that stuff in there. Just the carrier itself is much shorter, and it rides on these two guide rods that are attached to the carrier with two springs on there, and that's what rides inside the upper and allows you to have a bufferless system with no buffer tube or any of that jazz that you normally have. And again, looking at the bolt, it is much beefier than the companies who use an AR-15 style bolt and cut away more material. I don't know if anyone still does that. I know a bunch of companies used to. This is going to be a much more durable solution without killing you on the weight. It gets you kind of right in between. Okay, 39 inches, 8 pounds, comes in just under $2,000. I think all of that is A-okay and justified with me. It's not the cheapest rifle in the world, but it's definitely very nice, and I think the fit and finish justifies the price. All right, testing. I had exactly 400 rounds that I put through this rifle. I know that because I had 400 rounds of 7.62x39 ammo sitting around, besides my secret stash that I don't touch, and I shot all of that ammo, so I know I shot exactly 400 rounds. Just regular plinking stuff at the range, nothing crazy. We shot a bunch of steel case through here, hitting steel, magazine exchanges. I stretched it out to 200 yards because here in Rhode Island we don't have very long ranges, so the furthest I could shoot it was 200 rounds. A lot of transitions and just general type shooting. Now I recorded a ton of reels and stories with this gun because I really enjoyed shooting it. It was having a lot of fun. So you saw this a lot on my Instagram and my YouTube shorts the past couple months. I've been shooting this a lot. So based off that, I had no problems, no malfunctions, no issues, no failures of any kind. The biggest pro for me is going to be the cool factor, actually. I think in this world of there's 8 million boring AR-15s out there, this is something different. This is something unique, something funky. I get asked several times at the range, bro, what in the world are you shooting? What is that thing? I like that it takes AK mags. I love AKs. I'm fascinated by it. I think the Zero accessories are extremely nice. So now the Zero trigger is great. The Zero muzzle device, I like those. It would be a solid suppressor host with the adjustable gas block and the standard threads that we talked about. And then I think the fit and finish and overall rifles from CMMG are very solid. This is my 4th one. I shot them a ton when I worked at Inforce. When I worked at Inforce and we were testing lights, we used CMMG rifles to test our rifle lights. So I have a ton of rounds through CMMG, and I think they're pretty good. As far as things I would change, there's nothing I would change. Two things I want to address is a lot of people, when I was sharing those reels and stories, said, oh my goodness, that thing looks so big and heavy. And I think if you compare it to a standard AR-15, yes, it is bigger and heavier than a standard AR-15. If you compare it to an AR-10, it's significantly smaller and lighter than an AR-10. Because it's that mid-sized receiver, we shouldn't compare the weight to an AR-15, nor should we probably compare it to an AR-10. Just know it's right in between in size and weight. And to the people who said ranch guns, ranch-style guns, whatever we want to call these, are stupid, you just got bad taste, and I can't help you or justify anything that you have to say. Overall, if you're looking for a funky thing to bring to the range, this is a great choice. If you're looking for something for hunting, great choice. If you're looking for something to have on your property, a property type gun, maybe put it in, if you're cool enough to have a horse with one of those saddles, the gun saddles, what do they call those things? I forgot. Any of those things. This would be a very, very good choice. It would definitely work for any of those. All right. Let me thank CMMG. Their support is greatly appreciated over the years. Let me thank Natchez. They are the biggest supporter of the channel. My shirt is from Capable Citizen, local friends of mine here. Be capable, stay capable. What's their motto? Either way, if you want to check them out, go check out their website or their social media channels. I appreciate good folks, good friends, and local guys to me. And this sweatshirt is the nicest, softest sweatshirt I have. It feels fantastic. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you think I deserve it, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get 100,000 subs this year. I got a long way to go. So if you think I deserve it, click the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Be good, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.